Hello, and welcome to the Annotated Bibliography online workshop from the Writing Center at John Tyler Community College. So firstly, what is an annotation? An annotation is a commentary a reader makes after critically reading an informational source. It can include a summary, the reader's response, or questions or comments addressing the article's clarity, purpose, or effectiveness. What's the difference between an annotation and an abstract? Abstracts are purely descriptive summaries often found at the beginning of scholarly journal articles or in periodical indexes. Annotations, however, are descriptive and critical. They expose the author's point of view, clarity, and appropriateness of expression and authority. What is an annotated bibliography? An annotated bibliography is a list of citations from books, articles, and documents that includes a descriptive and evaluative paragraph of each citation. The paragraph for your annotation is short, only about 150 words, because the purpose of the annotation is to inform a reader on the quality, relevance, and accuracy of the source. So now we're going to go into some steps on how you're going to be writing the annotation for your annotated bibliography. Step 1 is how to begin after choosing a topic. Research and locate sources, books, and articles that contain useful information and ideas on the topic. Include works that provide a variety of perspectives. Critically read the source, noting the author's purpose, audience, language, and content. Step 2, how to cite the source. Next, cite the works collected using the appropriate format, MLA, APA, Chicago, Turbane. Check with class instructors to clarify which format to use. Write the citation in proper format for a works cited or a reference page, depending on if you're writing in MLA or APA. Remember to alphabetize your citations. Step 3, how to write the annotation itself. Your annotation is going to be a short descriptive paragraph of about 5 a summary of the article, the scope and main purpose of the work and its intended audience, your response to the article, how is it useful to your work, and what biases does the author have, a list of interesting or meaningful quotes, questions connecting the article and your knowledge and experience. Some questions to consider when writing the annotation are, who is the author? What are their credentials? Where is the article published? What type of journal is it? Who is the audience? Why was the article written and what's its purpose? What is the author's thesis? The major supporting points or assertions. Did the article achieve its purpose? Was the article organized? What was your overall impression of the article? This is a sample from an annotated bibliography on chemical weapons during the Vietnam War. And this is what an annotation could look like in your annotated bibliography. Next, we're going to be moving on to the activity sheet on the LibGuides. So for this activity, each of these examples are potential annotations for a research paper on the Rosetta Stone. Using the in-class workshop PowerPoint, look through these examples and see what is missing and how it can be fixed. Our first example is a list of quotes from the British Museum's blog. The Rosetta Stone is one of the most famous objects in the British Museum. The writing on the stone is an official message, called a decree, about the king. The inscription on the Rosetta Stone is a decree passed by a council of priests. It is one of a series that affirmed the royal cult of the 13-year-old Ptolemy V on the first anniversary of his coronation. So what is missing from this annotation? Does it explain who the author of the article is, what the title of the article, or any other information that could be necessary in an annotation? Can quotes be used in an annotation, or can there be absolutely no quotes in your annotation? Why is it important that the annotation discusses who the author of an article is? To show that the source is reputable, to explain why they should be listened to, or both? Should the writer include how they plan to use this source and/or how it will help their research? For example 2, this is from an article in The Independent from 2009. This source explains an argument about why the Rosetta Stone should be returned to Egypt. Dr. Zahi Hawas's argument is that the stone was stolen from Egypt and that it's shameful for Great Britain to keep it. He is quoted in the article saying, "If the British want to be remembered, if they want to restore their reputation, they should volunteer to return the Rosetta Stone because it is an icon of our Egyptian identity." The source also gives points on why and why not the stone should be surrendered. This article is intended for people unfamiliar with the controversy around who owns the stone. This source will be useful for analyzing different arguments around the stone, but because it is from an English periodical, it may be biased. So does this annotation describe the author's credentials? Does this annotation say how the source will be used? Is there enough summary? And is there anything else in this annotation that you can think of that may be missing? For our third example, this is from a scholarly journal, History Today. Downs has written several books and journal articles on Egypt and on the Rosetta Stone. This article contains several French and English eyewitness accounts from 1801. This article has some bias because it does not have any accounts from Egyptians. While this is an older source, I do not believe that it will affect the accuracy of the information. It is a scholarly article, but it still makes sense to someone without a background in this subject. Does this annotation describe the author's credentials? Does this annotation say how the source will be used? Is there enough summary in the annotation? And is there anything else this annotation is missing?